And I just realized I was muted. Let's try it again. Welcome everybody to Give It Podcast for Blurs for Nerds. We are already starting off wonderfully on the difficulty side. Of course, show guy Joe right along with myself, Black Spartan. Safari TV is currently at BlurCon right now with us in spirit. So, Joe, how are you feeling this evening, sir?
I have your toy.
You are unsupervised again. What is it? I can't really see it.
This is the new Morpher and also the new Megazord for this year's Super Sentai, which is the 50th anniversary of Super Sentai.
Ah, sweet. I couldn't see because I saw part of it. Ah. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. I can dig that. Although, I can't remember the last time I bought something for myself. Anyway, that being said, guys, we are a little bit older, which means that sometimes words do fly at the same time. There may be trailers and video game trailers that might be too intense for younger viewers. So viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, how do we start this? Well, pretty much, guys, how we start this is, well, we got a new Thunderbolts trailer. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think they made fun of the word absolute cinema. But if you haven't seen it, here it is.
There's something wrong.
Avengers are not coming. Who will keep people safe?
Now, of course, that is a Thunderbolts trailer, and as you can pretty much guess, there was really nothing new there. I like the fact that they call it absolute cinema because that is a term that's widely thrown around a lot, to be kind of honest. But you know, we're not that far off from May 2nd. We really are not. But Joe, any thoughts on that? Do you think they were just kind of poking fun since the Oscars just happened not too long ago, or is this just, you know, we had it off the reel, let's just throw it out there and see what traction it gets?
God, I wish we could cut away to that Princess Bride quote. You keep using this word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
They're gonna use that. They're gonna push that word into the ground. Honestly.
Yeah, I heard that the absolute cinema thing. Still, it's a good Thunderbolts trailer. Some good gags, some good trauma-inducing bits, mild brief show of insanity. That works it up, right?
I mean, I just thought that was interesting. Like, of all the things, like, we already know the basis of what to expect in this movie. We already know that there's probably going to be some twists, especially with the little asterisk right next to Thunderbolts. And it's amazing how many times it says we cannot call ourselves that. So it's leading to a lot. But
no, I still think that he's saying Avengers, and that's what Bucky keeps telling him. It's like, we can't call ourselves the Avengers.
That would be funny, though, if he did. I kind of hope he did, just because that would be right up Red Guardian's alley. But again, guys, May 2nd, we already know what's coming. So it's just funny that everything is absolute cinema now these days. But that being said, Joe, you had a chance to play Monster Hunter's Wild. Monster Hunter's Wilds, sir, how do you feel about it now that you've kind of had about a week with the game now?
More like 3 days. I do. Apparently I'm double showing the picture.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I hate this thing.
I know. It's talk studio. That's the best way I could put it. But go ahead, sir.
Since I got about a busy life, I haven't really made a lot of progress. I just now made it to Hunter rank 4. Mm-hmm. I now look like a Gundam. Like a very specific Gundam?
On purpose?
That's what the full armor set makes me look like.
Huh.
Look up Narcilla armor thing. I look like Haman Khan's Quibbly.
Keep going. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it.
So yeah, I literally look like Haman Khan's personal mobile suit from Double Zeta. But all in all, game's fun. It's a little easier right now just because I have a lot of legacy memory from playing since the 3DS era, and everything just like continuously flows. Plus, they made it even easier to take down monsters with the armor break system, not armor break, but wound system, which lets you just rack in materials, because every time you open a wound, you get a super move. And then once you do the super move or you damage the wound enough, it breaks, and then you get free item pieces, which makes it super easy to collect armor and build armor and weapons in this game. So
they gave it a stagger, and then it's a stagger, and then an extra damage marker.
No, it's an extra damage marker, and then if you hit it with the specialty with the wound killer move, which is tapping R1 on my thing, after toggling into wound mode, because you have to physically toggle to see where the wound is.
Yeah.
It'll glow bright red on the monster. If you can hit that targeted spot, then you can like blow a piece off, not like blow a piece off, but injure the monster much, much more than usual.
Oh.
And then get a free piece of the monster. So you get whatever wounds you broke, items, and then hunt or capture items.
Gotcha.
So it makes collecting armor pieces and stuff much better. But keep in mind, I'm only in low rank.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep you in low rank for the story mode, and then high rank is not till after credits.
So your armor looks like this?
Yeah, yes. Now Google Quibbly.
I hate to sound like a fifth grader right now. What did you just say?
Google Quibbly. Quibley.
Okay,
That's Haman Khan mobile suit.
Okay, because that brought up nothing. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, that's a mecha. That ain't it. I was like, it brought up the weirdest cartoon I have ever seen. It kind of reminds me of Dilbert Actually Enlisted. Let's see, because you said it's an armor suit?
Haman Khan mobile suit.
Oh, then it might have been this thing then. Let me pull this up. Was it that?
Yep, that's it.
Odd, but interesting. So you said that you're still a little bit. So you say you're still a little bit into it, but they're keeping low level. Is this? I mean, as far as the story, is it engaging? Does it keep you your toes, or is it just meh?
It's meh, but you get like a Commander Shepard type in the good way, in that you actually have a voice and properly interact. Rather than the other Monster Hunters where everybody just interacts and just kind of stand there and like, you're the best hunter. In this one, you physically like interact with the rest of the crew. Which makes it a little bit better.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's actually a good thing to know. Anything else that you do want to point out about Monster Hunter Wilds that maybe newbies or veterans should know?
You got to go into the options and mess and fiddle with stuff, because there's a lot of things I had to toggle and untoggle to make it functional for me. Like, helmet off in cutscenes. Make the bird make your chocobo, not quite chocobo, but chocobo. Turn off auto explore. Set up a small macro to where all you got to do is press a direction on the D-pad in order to collect things as you're close to them.
Dang, so it's a lot. So it's that much customization, or is it that just give you that much freedom?
Both.
Dang, that doesn't sound so bad. But you said it's definitely worth it.
I also already found a way to like cheese the game too for mid to late game jewel customization. Someone's already found a way to cheese that, so where you get like minimal effort and like 100 gems.
Oh, but of course, there was always going to be some way that somebody was going to find a way to farm or make it easier. I mean, let's be honest, that's gamers. If gamers ain't finding a way to find their way around stuff, then what are you really playing for? But you're just saying overall, it definitely is worth playing. I made the mistake that it was going to be on Xbox Game Pass, and they turned around and sat there and said, not yet. So you had to definitely buy the game in full. But Joe, are you saying it's worth it, or is it worth waiting for?
It's worth it. I mean, it's worth your time. It'll just seem a little easy at first, but that's because you got a lot of legacy memory from the previous games.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's good to know. So for all those that are wondering about Monster Hunter Wilds, well, there's your answer from Joe. I guess I'll just bite the bullet and just pay my $60 and get my copy. Also, support physical media. You're going to miss it when it's gone because you cannot trust digital. Look, we're trying to tell you now. We are trying to tell you now. Buy physical copies when you can. Because, again, if you ain't noticed, PlayStation and Microsoft have a weird way of going down on networks. Not saying Nintendo has the same problem because Nintendo very rarely does, but Nintendo likes to shut down ROMs. So there's checks and balances here everywhere, especially if you got
an offline single player mode. So it's not horrible.
Yeah, but
and then they did take a cue from Rise where if you aren't online but still need help, you can call in an NPC party.
Really? So that's cool. Have you tested that theory to see if they're worth it? There's pretty much okay. Helpful or target practice?
Both.
Damn. Well, to each their own. But we do have a few other more trailers to go into, guys. I feel bad every time we get a Mortal Kombat trailer because it's like, I'm not saying you gave up, but Chaos Reigns was supposed to be like Afterlife. Afterlife was fun for Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 1 started off so great. And then somewhere along the lines in Chaos Reigns, it just completely derailed. Conan the Barbarian looked generic. T-1000.
Turned out to be fun, though.
Huh?
Conan actually turned out to be a lot of fun, though.
Okay. I'm just saying from the trailers when they started out, like, how the time we first saw the trailers, they were made you want to play the character. And now when you see them now, it's just like, did you guys even try to even sell us on this? But anywho, official Madame Bo cameo, actually her teaser trailer came out. And I'm going to be honest, this kind of gives me a little bit of hope.
Have you two been practicing my lessons?
As we can. The harvest leaves us little time for martial arts.
Since your first words, Kung Lao, you've mouthed nothing but excuses. If you fail to prepare...
Your preparations will fail.
Finish him. Flawless victory.
Okay, so that was the Madame Bo cameo fighter. As you can see, guys, will be available not too long from now, March 18th, for the Chaos Reigns version of Mortal Kombat. It looks like she is fighting with a younger Kung Lao, and it's not bad, although it is kind of disrespectful to get sake thrown on you and then get lit on fire. But I don't know, Joe, does this make up? I mean, we know Mortal Kombat 1's on its way out. Does it make up for the lack of, I guess, attraction to actually want to play with these characters, or is it just another, this is nice, but it's not enough?
I want to know why she's not a DLC character and just a cameo, because I want to be able to hop online and beat everybody with eight little old kung fu woman who will beat you without taking her cigarette out of her mouth. I mean, if anything, Kung Fu Hustle has taught me, she is the ultimate martial artist.
I thought, you know what? I thought you were going to go for the Lion's Roar. I thought you were going to say it. I thought you were going to say it. Josh just went to the Lion's Roar just one time. It's a fatality.
Oh, no, different thing. I mean, canonically, she's Bo Raicho's wife, but I mean, she's doing Bo Raicho moves for most of her combat.
Yeah.
So there's that. I just want to know why she's not a full-on DLC character, just a cameo. I would love to play as Madame Bo. It's just fun to be Kung Fu Granny who just thinks you're not even worth the time of taking the cigarette out of her mouth.
But it is weird though. Why? But you bring up a wonderful point. Why a cameo fighter when she's not a full-fledged one? That's the thing I didn't get. Like, this is why I sit there and say it's like, don't get me wrong, fighting, a young Kung Lao. I'm not saying we've been there, done that. We kind of have twice. But yet you could have turned around and gave us something different. I mean, we've had older fighters in Mortal Kombat before.
Yeah, the other thing I looked about that, sorry to interrupt, is one of her call-ins did a full reset. That's terrifying.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's just, but her being a cameo is just, it doesn't make any sense. But again, if you want her as a cameo, she's available in 11 days. Mortal Kombat, boy. I figure you're gonna go down swinging, but not completely lay down. But again, just my opinion. You guys let us know in the comments what you think. Moving right along before we get to the main course, because the thing that everybody wants to talk about, Sega, you make me nervous. Why do I say Sega, you make me nervous? Well, because they are promising fewer newer games, but deeper investments in Sonic, Atlas, and Like a Dragon. Now, don't get me wrong about Sega. Sega is usually very solid when it comes to IPs. Still want them to go back to consoles, but that's just me. But the fact that they are kind of focusing more on their money makers. A lot of gaming studios are starting to do that. Not just Sega, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony are starting to scale back on really making new leaps forward with new IPs. They do want to go with the moneymakers. In this case, Sega said they want to go after Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble, Metaphor ReFantazio, Sonic Shadow Generations, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. For all those that don't know, those were all very successful games that have came out. They also want to go into Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. We talked about that on our podcast a few weeks ago. Shinobi Art of Vengeance. We covered that one just a few weeks ago. And of course, the revival of Virtua Fighter. We saw the test footage. I'm sorry. The test footage, I understand it's test footage, but if they manage to make that look realistically in the game that's coming out, Street Fighter 6 and other fighting games, even Fatal Fury, I dare say, that might actually make fighting game turns a little bit more fun. And also, you have your nostalgic games, Jet Set Radio, Golden Axe, and Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage actually had a revival with Streets of Rage 4. Still was great to play. And of course, people would love to play Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio and Golden Axe. Again, all money makers. Now, do not get me wrong. I get the fact that we are in a time right now. I don't mean to bring the political world into gaming because we're all about having fun and things of that nature. But we would be remiss if we didn't sit there and say we are concerned, because it kind of goes into the next things we're going to talk about, that a lot of gaming companies are trying to just go for cash grabs right now. And that means that some of your titles may suffer because of that. But before we go into the next parts of this, Joe, which again, I know this is the downside that we got to talk about, that, gamers are going to start running their pockets. But anything you wanted to add to those things, Joe, before we go into the other two parts? You're muted, Joe.
It's kind of a solid investment because, everyone's going to buy a Persona. Everyone's going to buy a Yakuza. Those are two good things. A good Sonic game is hard to come by sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So then putting more investment time into that is kind of a good thing, in my opinion. We will see a new Jack Ryan Radio, a new Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
We already know they're doing a new Shinobi. I mean, I'm not exactly out here expecting to come out with a brand new Vector Man or Alex Kidd.
Although it would be nice.
Vector Man was
At least Vector Man. Vector Man was fun. Vector Man was fun. I will say that.
It was fun. It was absolutely fun, but that was also a product of its time.
True.
Vector graphics for Vector Man, we're a little bit past Vector graphics now, so I don't know what Vector Man's going to be doing in this day and age.
You're not wrong, but I just not thought about Vector graphics. What was that? 94, 5,
94, 95, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to be mad if they try to bring out a new Eternal Champions. They keep saying they're looking forward to it, but at this point, I just don't see it happening.
I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough fans. I don't think there's enough. I hate to say it and put it this way. I don't think there's enough money for them to actually sit there and say, "Hey, we're bringing back Eternal Champions." You guys remember Eternal Champions, right? For some of us that are over the age of 30, yes, 30 and up remember Eternal Champions.
It's like that. What they could do, what they did with Virtual Fighter, where they put it in Yakuza and let there be an Eternal Champion cabinet and see how often that gets played.
You know, the crazy part is it would work just because it was running on 16 bits, so of course it could work in any large scale game. If you not to think about it, I'm just saying, Sega, you got a shot. But the reason why we're bringing this up, guys, before we get to Daredevil, is because, again, we try not to be political on this show, although we really are sometimes. But we would be remiss if, what's going on in the world right now, specifically in the U.S., we are being hit with tariffs. Again, not to be political. We try not to be political. We're just saying it as it is. That yes, tariffs have went into place. They have went into effect. And they affect everybody, including gamers. The reason why I'm saying that, guys, is that because of said administration that put in tariffs, which went into effect Tuesday of this week, you actually might be seeing a cost on certain games, especially if they're imports. Now, if you guys haven't noticed, a lot of games are imports, especially if they come from certain countries that have a certain tariff put on them. Now, quick economy lesson. Tariffs basically mean that you're just paying more. The cost of goods from seller to consumer is just being passed on to you. So there is a chance, not just video games, but video game consoles, smartphones, GPUs, laptops, anything electronic may actually see a 25% increase on price. Now, again, this is why I said gamers, unfortunately, going forward, this is going to run your pockets. Now, what does this mean? It means that a lot of people may actually be taking advantage of the services. Sony and Microsoft may turn around and sit there and say, "Hey," they may push their PlayStation Plus or their Microsoft Game Day passes, just because. I mean, let's be honest, 25%, you're paying, your games will go from $60 to almost $80, almost to $90 on 25%. So I know a lot of people are saying, but that's no different from an Ultimate version. I said, true, but not a lot of people will play. Not a lot of people will play, but not a lot of people will pay $110 to $120 for a single game, and it's already blown over value. Even if it is Ultimate, even if you do get certain skins, even if you do get early access to items, even if you do get a season pass for a particular DLC, it does it. For a lot of people who are budget conscious, this new news may have people going back and saying, let me go back to the games that I've already purchased, let me replay those. Or let me go on my PlayStation Plus, download a game from there, or let me go to my Microsoft Xbox Game Pass and download a game from there. And that's what I'll do until these games come around again, or these prices drop, or wait for a sale. And that, unfortunately, is going to plague all gamers, not just consoles. You guys, the PC master race, you guys are going to be feeling it too. And it sucks. It does. I mean, but, again, not to be political, but you can only blame one person for this. And, well, fortunately, he's at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But, Joe, anything you want to add to that?
Well.
Oh, hang on. Go for it.
Well, he's already backed off on the tariffs again, so there's that for about a month. So we're going to keep playing this red light, green light game, and that doesn't turn out well when it's done in certain shows.
Very much.
And we're unfortunately all live contestants from the game of life, so.
Especially
as Cleveland said, we never win. We just do a little bit better every time.
Mm-hmm.
So, be that as it may, we're gonna probably see it at some point if this never-ending game of chicken, which I think is a pump and dump in the stock market, but we will leave that alone. This is a happy podcast.
We're trying to be happy because you got stocks, you might not want to open those up right now.
Yeah, this is a happy podcast. How about them rainbows?
Right.
So anyways, we may see a hit, we may not. More than likely we will. It's gonna suck, but a lot of us are living that life now where we're signed up to where we get free games anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, now that Dragon Age Veilguard's looking a little bit better coming in March.
Yeah.
As a free game. I bought my copy a while ago, but a lot of people that didn't and were on the fence.
Let me ask you about that as a person that bought the copy of the game, and not to interrupt you, but let me ask you, does that offend you that game is already out a month after it released?
It doesn't offend me because that means more people are going to want to get that were on the fence of getting their hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I couldn't foresee into the future and save money, but I saved up enough and pre-ordered it, so it didn't affect me on the bottom line.
Okay. Now the reason why I asked is I know some people that have purchased it and they're just like, had I just waited, I could have saved myself money and just did the subscription, which is true, but
you didn't know that was coming down the line.
Exactly. You couldn't have known. There's no way you could have known. So I just wanted to bring that up just because I'm like, I know some people feel ways like, if I just wait a month, if you could read the future, you buy yourself a lottery ticket. I mean, I do. But no, as far as gamers go, gamers themselves, whether you're PC or not, you're not the only ones affected. Lover and collectors of toys, present company included, will also be feeling it. Because again, guys, these are basically, for a lot of people that don't know, a lot of our products come from China. Almost 80% of our stuff comes from China. So because of that tariff, which Joe just said, is playing red light, green light right now. Right now it's back on red light. But if it were going to go green light again, Hasbro CEO said that the tariffs mean that higher toy prices are coming. So what does that basically mean? Your Transformers, your Decepticons, pretty much anything that comes from overseas, you will be paying more for. And again, same with the gamers, the same with those of toys or collectors of toys. Does that mean values are going to go up? Yes. Our price is going to go up. Unfortunately, yes. Will that deter individuals from buying toys and things of that nature? Yeah. I mean, some folks may just want to just say, bump it and get what they want. Prices be damned. But I know for a lot of people, it's just like, no, that's just too rich for my blood. But Joe, who collects more toys than I would, and Joe, who collects toys, and I wish I could meet him on that. Sir, as a toy collector, how do you feel about that news?
I'm glad I didn't start investing in the aerial bots, and I'm just going to wait till the giant collector pack like they did with Menasor, where you collect all the aerial bots at once to make Superion. I mean, it sucks. It definitely put me off on buying the aerial bots individually. That was probably going to be the last big Transformer thing I purchased because that'll put my Decepticon and Autobots at an even even number.
Yeah.
Like I have an OCD thing. Leave me alone, people.
No judgment.
I have a big combiner, I have a medium combiner, and I have little ones. I have the big combiner. I need my medium combiner with my autobots. Something needs to be in front of defense or other than Hot Rod. We all know what he can do. Get your Optimus Prime killed. That's why I don't have one.
I'm sorry. I try not to laugh. I try. Joe tries to break me on camera every chance he gets. That's why I had to stop.
Well,
you pull it off, but go ahead.
No, so like I said, I also don't need to do spending because I just moved into a new apartment, so I need to stop buying toys anyways, and this is actually a really good incentive to not do it, so.
Very fair. But the point we're getting at, guys, is just
Ignore the new Megazord.
That too. But it's just the whole thing is like, unfortunately, with the society and the world that we live in, things are going to go up for a little while, which means that again, this is going to affect the toy market. It's going to affect video games. It's going to affect not just video games, laptops, electronics. If you're like me and you're trying to upgrade your phone and this news came through, it's like, well, crap, that old phone's got to last a little bit longer. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. I know outside of the fact that everybody doesn't want to pay more for something which value is increased, but I get it. But let's get to some happy news because we have been talking about a show. Said show has came out this Tuesday. 2 episodes. 2 episodes in which, again, we are going to go into detail on it, guys. I know for a lot of this stuff, we usually try not to go into detail, but what's going on with Daredevil Born Again can simply not be talked about. So the best thing that we can do in this situation is go ahead and talk about it. Now, if you have not seen Daredevil Born Again episodes 1 and episodes 2, we are going to talk about the details from each episode. That being said, if you don't want to know and you don't want to be spoiled, now's your trigger warning. Or they either come back to us in a couple minutes, or just take notes and go see if we were right. But that being said about Daredevil Born Again, Joe, I'm gonna let you go first. What were your reactions to episodes 1 and 2?
Well, that was a shocking first 5 minutes, I'll tell you that much.
Right. Right.
I enjoyed it. I want to know where the She-Hulk takes place in this timeline because it's a 1-year time skip. So I want to know where that happens because even Kingpin mentions, Echo happened here.
Right.
So it seems like Echo happened almost immediately before this.
Had to. That's the thing that make it. That's why I was like, the way he explained it is like, I met someone and they helped me. I'm like, so Echo's story was just maybe a month or 2, and then we got Daredevil. It makes sense.
Well, maybe not a month. Yeah, because he also addresses Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Too as well. I also like the fact that he brought up Spider-Man for like a hot second.
That was funny. But no, go ahead.
It also really confused me that we're using the Born Again moniker when this is very clearly Devil's Reign.
I thought about that. I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm wondering if it's supposed to be Born Again for Daredevil, but the Kingpin storyline is Devil's Reign since the B story is surrounding Kingpin.
Yeah. It's just it's odd, like you said, it's odd that it's not Devil's Reign. I get the whole Born Again. You're doing the whole thing of him trying to redeem himself based on what happened in episode 1, where, let's be honest, nobody saw Foggy getting killed. Nobody saw in the first 5 minutes. We knew Bullseye was around. We knew he was tracking someone, but in all intents and purposes, we all thought it was Matt. The way it was set up, we thought it was him that was about to get 86. And then, it's funny where you see Foggy get hit, and for some odd reason, Bullseye decides to go clear out the bar full of cops. You decided, taking out Foggy wasn't enough. You got to take out a bar full of cops. And of course, Matt being Daredevil does intercede. A fight breaks out in the hallway. which I'm kind of mad about. We got a hallway fight scene. We got a hallway. Well, actually, no. Technically, a stairway. That was an argument. That was an argument online where it was like, well, it's a hallway fight scene. No, technically it was a stairway, but, we still got a fight between Bullseye and Daredevil. And then, of course, at the end, Daredevil beats the mess out of Bullseye. And then, and I will say this, visually, the entire first 10 minutes from how it was shot, how they really showed off Matt's abilities as far as hearing and things of that nature, even to the end where I'm like, oh, Bullseye did this to where Bullseye is accurate. Let's be honest, hence the name. The man gut shotted him just so Daredevil could hear the last few heartbeats and then completely lose it, which I was like, that is petty, but at the same time, it makes for captivating story.
Did the CG bother you in that fight?
Not really, just because from what was being attempted, it's almost like they tried to clean it up, but just some spots were just unavoidable. That's what it looks like to me. Some spots look cleaned up. Some spots were like, this is the best we can do.
I mean, I'm okay with it because I understand they're doing it to make it look more like how he moves in the comics, but I'm going to be honest with you, it was a little distracting sometimes.
Okay. Fair. Oh, don't get me wrong. Completely fair. But yeah, I did like the fact that his movements were a little bit more to what we are used to from Daredevil. But the heartbeat of Foggy and then, him losing it. And then he just sat there and just yeeted Poindexter right off the side of the building and bounced. And then this fool still lived. It's just like, dude, you fell a good 15 stories, bounced, and you're still alive. And only to go to his court date to where he's serving consecutive life sentences. And then I guess they're trying to show the big between him and I forgot her name already. Damn. Shoot, what's her name?
Karen?
Because thank you, Karen. I got brain dead for a second. Between Matt and Karen, they had that love interest. They were on again, off again. Then after Foggy's death, and it's weird after Foggy's death, they fast forward a year later, even to where Foggy's funeral flyer is still on his table. At the same time, he's moved on. Karen's moved on. And he has no longer been. And so it's been a year without Daredevil. So now it's like crimes all over the place. We see White Tiger, which again, I'm really surprised about that. I mean, they went straight for the reveal of him as far as him being out of costume without the amulet. But the thing I got out of that was Kingpin and his wife. So I get it. Kingpin disappeared for a while. Vanessa was running the business. She was actually the king. If really be honest, she was the kingpin herself. Then Wilson comes back. Everything's estranged. And the only thing she asked was that, hey, you know about Adam? Don't kill him. He's like, I get it. He's like, I've been gone for a while. I'm not going to kill your side piece. But, and then it's just the whole thing of just him wanting to be mayor. And I like that because I'm like, again, we talked about this. We talked about this on previous podcasts where they're going with the story. It's basically Devil's Reign, which, again, led to the reason why we said that they're bringing the Defenders back. We still expect to see, I'm going to be honest, if they've already mentioned the fact that in his speech, he's already mentioned Punisher, he's already mentioned Spider-Man, and he's already mentioned Daredevil, which, again, were three central figures in we're three figures in Devil's Reign storyline anyway. So we already know with everything that's going on, the fact that, Matt was just trying to still do the right thing, defend the innocent, which kind of leads into episode 2 with the corrupt cops. And that was crazy to see him halt, to see him really take a beating for about 10 seconds and then he snapped. And he decided to just beat the brakes off these two cops.
No, that one dude's dead.
Yeah. Oh, that one dude that decided to hit the ground and he just did this. I mean, I'm sorry. Body was like here, neck was like this.
I mean, we've seen that before. We watch pro wrestling, but still.
Oh yeah. We know a Spike. We know a Spike in a this when we see it. Like, yeah, he ain't getting up. But yeah, it just led to, it's like Matt just still struggles with the fact that he crossed his own line. And let me ask you this. Does it make for good television? Because usually the Matt we know, it's like, yes, he crossed the line. He broke his own rule, which again, the whole not taking a life rule. But I'm like, come on, now I'm a Batman fan. Batman always says the no-kill rule, but I'm like, some of your enemies do wind up dead. Just saying. But do we think that we are going to wind up seeing Matt being back in red, by episode 3?
Well, we know from the trailer he's got a array of colors, so hard to say. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if he's going to be red. He may be in black. We don't know which one he's going to do at the moment. I thought this was supposed to be like 18 episodes, but apparently it's only 9 episodes.
They're only giving us 9 episodes. If I remember correctly, it's 9 episodes up front, and then there's going to be a little bit of a brief break between them.
Then season 2 is 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. Like, we thought we were going to get the lion's share. Disney was like, "Oh no, we're gonna separate this." But let me ask you this: since we know about White Tiger, is White Tiger being utilized, or are they being a throwaway character with him?
Hard to say with him. Much love to the actor. He passed away before the show aired because he passed away from cancer, I believe.
Right.
I don't know if he's just going to be like a catalyst and how much we'll actually see of White Tiger, but I hope we do see more of him in costume.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice. They could replace someone who's a rich boy that doesn't need it. Rich martial arts boy, he could replace him, right?
This is just they shall not be named. Just they shall not be named, really.
Like, if it ain't the Asian boy with the sword, then he doesn't need to be named.
I saw you going that route, like he who shall not be named. No, but truly, I wouldn't mind that. But like I said, although it's been 2 episodes, there is a lot going on. You can't help. It's like, okay, are we seeing? I was like, it's the whole thing of we're gonna see more enemies, but the whole thing with Fisk, I don't know why, but Fisk's story in these first 2 episodes kind of grabbed me a little bit more than Matt's did, because you see him literally is like, I'm trying to be different. I'm trying to be a good man. I am trying to be better. It's almost like shades of Netflix's season 2 of Daredevil. It's like Kingpin is trying his hardest not to be himself, but everything keeps pulling back to that. So it's just interesting where he tells Vanessa, I'm trying to change. I'm trying to change. I am trying to be better. But if we do this, still saying you can be Kingpin, I can be Mayor, but the two could never coincide. Everything that's got to be done has to be clean. It cannot have any ties to me. So it's interesting where you see the police commissioner go, yeah, me and a whole bunch of cops we're done. And it's like, he's like, you will never, it's like, you call yourself being a mayor, you're nothing more than an animal. And I'm just like, why do I feel like we're having season 2 vibes all over again? It's like the man is just trying to be better, but it's like, okay, I tried nice. Now let me go to the way that works. To where he shows, I guess, the love child. It's like, nah, it's like, I don't think your wife knows about this kid. And it's like, so here's what's going to happen. You're not going to retire. You're not getting raises. You're not getting new cadets. Cool. And of course, he's like, yeah, but be careful what you wish for. But what kills me is he has a new Wesley. He has a new Wesley, which I always will sit there and say, why did you kill the first Wesley in the Netflix show? That first Wesley was brilliant. He was great. Shout out to the actor's name. I can't remember his name to save my life right now. But we basically got a new Wesley, which, again, there needs to be a Wesley with a Kingpin, but I miss the old version. That's just me. But anything else you want to add to that, Joe?
He's got his own hype, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird, but also so topical.
The name escapes me about that guy. I don't know why his name bothers me so much. There's some I meant to look it up before the podcast started. there's something about his name where he said it and the Kingpin kind of tilted his head. And I'm like, why does this name? And it bothered me. Like, his name sounds so freaking familiar somewhere. But you're right. Him being a hype man, and at the same time, I'm like, oh, you have a yes man that you can throw away and use. Okay, cool. Can't knock it. But at the same time, Wilson Fisk being mayor, it's just, I don't know why for the first 2 episodes, that was the more intriguing story. Not to say that Matt's story is not great, but Matt is still trying to live a life that, well, it ain't him. It really is not. So at the same time, it's just like, say what?
It's Michael Gandolfini, so it's Jane Gandolfini's son.
Yeah, that was throwing me off.
It's Daniel Blake.
Okay. Sopranos reference is what got me. I was like, okay, I know it was something that was getting me that I couldn't put my finger on. But yeah. But aside from that, though, the first 2 episodes themselves were great. Definitely did draw me in to see what happens with the next 6. Two 7. Thank you. Can't count. With the next 7 episodes. But yeah, so far I am not disappointed by Daredevil. I really am not. I still think we're gonna get surprises along the way. I still think that we are going to wind up seeing Defenders. We already know we're going to see Punisher just because of previous trailers, but I still think we are going to get the Defenders somewhere down the line in this current run. But that's just me. But yeah, aside from that, I think me and Joe can both say that, yeah, we are thoroughly enjoying Daredevil Born Again, although it should be Devil's Reign. But hey, nitpicking. Let us know in the comments, guys, what you think of Daredevil Born Again. But we do have a couple of game trailers. For all those that always played Tony Hawk in the age of really pop punk rock, Warped Tours, and Vans. I'll be honest with you, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was probably one of, if not the Madden of skating games. And the fact that we haven't had a Tony Hawk in a long while says a lot. But alas, you are getting revamped versions of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. And here's the trailer.
Attention passengers, face planting the tile is strictly prohibited.
All right, guys. So that was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. As you can see, guys, will be available July 11th of this year. And of course, like everything else, if you do the pre-orders, you do get bonus in-game music, skate decks, Great Skater apparel, and apparently Doom and Revenant skins, along with the Unmaker hoverboard, also a skin in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. I'm not gonna lie, just because it's been a while since I played Pro Skater, basically any skating game, I would actually go back just to sit there and say to have some fun with it, especially if it's talking about the soundtracks, just because Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 did have a lot of nice music off their soundtracks, but at the same time, I'm just hoping they kept with the gameplay. But I'll probably give it a shot just to play it again. But Joe, what do you think?
Didn't they announce that they were taking out the career mode from 4?
Say it one more time.
Didn't they announce that they're stripping out the career mode of 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which again,
No,
it's
I'm thinking Tony Hawk Underground with the big mode. But yeah, so they're stripping career mode out of 4, which kind of sucks. Having the Doom Slayer and Revenant that's neither here nor there.
some people want to skate as Doom guy, I guess.
But the best one is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, hands down. You just get nicer locations and somewhat locations, but you're never gonna beat Spider-Man playing as Spider-Man on a half pipe, just racking up points as you jump higher and higher.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, that could be a whole other debate as far as that one. I remember some people were debating about that as far as what's the best Tony Hawk Pro Skater. But again, let us know in the comments what you think. But yeah, definitely want to try that when it comes out. Like I said, not a lot of the way in the news and trailers, guys. We do have another trailer, which I had to be reminded about RoboCop Rogue City. I honestly forgot about it. But
It's such a fun game.
I completely forgot about Rogue City. Actually, now that I think about it, I never played it. I've never played Rogue City. But with that being said, they do have an expansion, official unfinished business expansion. Unfinished business, basically what it's called. But anyway, here's the trailer.
There were too many. And their weapons. So many good officers that...
We're the cops. All the bad ones should be afraid of us.
Cops shouldn't be feared. What do you want us to be? Judges? Executioners?
What do you think, Murphy?
Surrender, or there will be trouble.
You're going down!
Trouble, then.
Okay, so that was the expansion for official unfinished business, which will be out this summer. So definitely wishlist that. But Joe, I gotta ask you because you've played RoboCop Rogue City. I haven't. What were your thoughts on that? As far as it, playing it, because I might go looking for that now that I think about it.
It is the quintessential RoboCop game.
Okay.
You have to do some mild detective work in it too, which is great. As for this trailer, they pretty much said it in the thing. What are you, a judge? An executioner? It's like, can you be any more obvious and heavy-handed with the Judge Dredd reference? We get it. This is just What If Dredd, but with RoboCop.
Yeah, just enough not to involve the lawyers. Just enough. But no, I gotta go back and actually try that. Oh, that's on Steam. Okay, cool.
Well, it's on sale a lot of the time, so it's worth it.
I'll have to definitely try that. But it did look like you're playing as Murphy.
Because they do go flying. It is great when you punch them, punch a normal human, because they just go.
So let me ask this, because we did see a lot of Murphy. So we did see Murphy post RoboCop. But it looked like a lot of the actual trailer looked to be beforehand when he was still an OC, when he was still regular flesh and blood Murphy. Does it make you still want to play him before the Chrome, or is this just like a nice little change of pace?
It's a psychological thing because this is where he's still like. I think this is like set immediately after RoboCop 1 or maybe after RoboCop 2 because his mind is still not like fully compatible with all the things. So he's having like instances where he's looking at his hand and it's a human hand, but in the mirror beside him, it's clearly RoboCop looking at his hand.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So it's still the whole thing of him just coping, I guess the best way I can say it. Psychological coping.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. But no, I have to go find that and actually play that because I never played that, and now I want to play it. But yeah, good to know. But again, if you play Robocop Rogue City, let us know. And will you be playing the unfinished official business DLC, which will come out this summer? But last bit of news before we get to Invincible and the comic book pools, guys. Disney's showing its hand again, which I'm not understanding, considering the fact that The Princess and the Frog did very well as far as Disney movies go and introducing Disney's first Black Princess. That being said, there was a series that was going to come out called Tiana, which Disney was basically going to still follow her as far as her journey. Has now been said that has now been 86, as they are now abandoning long-form streaming content. Again, I want to chalk this up to the way the world is, that because of things increasing in cost and things of that nature, that companies are no longer taking risk as far as new IPs. This may be just one of them because Disney, you would think Disney has some long form streaming content, which means like shows like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which again, still mad at Disney for canceling that. They also had other shows that were coming out that were also following Disney characters. Now, Tiana was supposed to join that group, but as we can see, they went ahead and pulled the plug on that. Are we seeing this as a cost issue or just a lack of no faith in it? I'm going to be honest, Joe, before you answer that, I think it's a lack of faith. Just because, again, Princess and the Frog, successful movie. I mean, Disney couldn't lose with that. And this is coming from a company that gave Frozen 3 movies, which, again, all 3 movies are great. But at the same time, they will give Frozen a long-standing series before they give Tiana one, which makes me think that there's just no faith that Tiana can't sell it. But is it just a business decision? I would say, Joe, in your opinion, is it a business decision or is it just sign of the times?
The reason they gave was they want to move away from long-term programming, I think they said, because I think this was supposed to be kind of like the Tangled animated series, three seasons in a movie.
Yeah.
Which I would have been more than up for it, especially since they got the original voice actress to come back, and probably some of the cast. I would have liked to see what the new villain would have been like.
Right.
Or they could have brought back, what is his name? Because I just want to say Papa Shango, and I know I'm wrong.
The Shadow Man.
Shadow Man? No. Is it Shadow Man?
Hmm. I mean, he has a different name, but they call him the Shadow Man.
Okay. I'm going to the Valiant Shadow Man.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite Brother Voodoo, but bad guy. Anyways, I would have really liked to see that. And, we get more new good programming on Disney. It kind of needs it right now because, it's pretty hit and miss.
Yeah.
More variety is always a good thing. I mean, even Cartoon Network is getting that new animated series, Ikayu. They're showing it at BlurCon right now. I've only seen.
I know. Mm.
And then there's that other one that may go to Cartoon Network. The Please, 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 I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. Look, a lead pipe and the Tanya Tap solve everything.
Now that I don't want to be a magical girl, which I feel like I'm doing disservice that I'm not. Hang on. Keep talking. Go ahead.
So, I mean, they just ended Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I don't see why they don't put this out. This would be so good. It did so well in the theaters. At least to my knowledge, it did well in the theaters. That it just doesn't make sense they're not putting it out.
Okay.
This weekend.
Okay. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm doing this service. So thank you, Joe, for reminding me because that needs to be said. So Joe brought up that, other animations are coming out. And this one definitely is Pretty Please, I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. Is being shown at BlurCon as well as in other areas. I will say this, guys, there is a little bit of language. So again, if you got kids, you may not want to let them watch this, but just really quickly, even though it's 8 minutes, again, if you haven't seen it, just watch.
Brand new indie animation project blew up, going from 50,000 to 500,000 views in just one day, and at the time of writing this, now up to 800,000 views, and who knows where it'll be by the time this video is up. The show is called Pretty Please, I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl, and...
Hold up. I didn't need talking. I didn't need talking.
Hi everyone, I'm Aika, a normal girl of average talent living an unspectacular life. I just moved to this quiet little town where nothing ever happens, and it's great. Man, why am I running? I'm not even late. Woo! Okay, we're back. Here we go. I guess I'm just excited for my first normal day of normal high school. It might sound boring to you, but to me, it's everything I've ever wanted, and I can't wait.
You good? You're kind of standing in the doorway.
Ah, right! Go ahead! My apologies!
It's chill, thanks.
Actually, if you have a second, I'm new here. Think you could show me the way to my first class?
Looks like we're in the same first period. You can follow me if you want.
Where was I in my narration? Oh yeah! I can't wait for a fresh start! And first ever pop quiz, done.
Kill me.
Oh, looks like no one else is done yet. I too am still working. Oh, shit. Hey, miss! Can I please go to the bathroom, please?
What? Oh, sorry, Aika. You gotta finish your quiz before leaving the classroom.
Thanks, miss. See you tomorrow!
But...
You're doing great work. I love you.
I needed that today. I'll let it slide. Looks like she finished after all. And with a perfect score?
Phew. Guess I'll hide out here for a while. No!
Get off that dirty-ass floor. God, you're dramatic. A box, Aika? Really? You put me in a dark, dark little magic box? I'm lucky someone with hands opened it up!
I knew you'd be found. Eventually. I just needed you off my back, Hoshi.
It's my job to be on your back. And it's your job to...
Unless it's a minimum wage cashier job, I should not be working. I'm 15. Whatever needs to be done can be handled by the others back home. Sorry for putting you in a box, but I need this. Please go. And try not to be seen.
Fine. At least take this. Just in case. Call me if you need me.
What? What was that? Nothing. Don't worry about it.
I think my kidneys are backwards.
Bruh, some kid got a perfect score on the quiz. The curve is fucked.
Ooh. Hey! Thanks for helping me earlier. Can I sit here? Is that a no?
Me? You're asking me?
Yeah, but it's cool. I, sat down before I asked, and now it's weird. I'll just go.
No. You can stay. I'm just not used to people talking to me, is all. You see, I'm kind of a loser.
Wow! A real-life high school loser!
Whoa, okay. I already said it. No need to rub it in, you know?
Why? Being a loser's awesome! No one bothers you or expects anything from you, and you're free to do whatever you want! You got nowhere to go but up!
That's a fun spin on it, I guess. You've got a way with words.
I'm Aika, normal girl of average talent and zero secrets.
Okay, well, I'm Zira, also a normal girl of average talent. I got a couple secrets.
I won't press any further. Nice to meet you, friend. That's bad. So, what book you got there?
It's just one of my favorite mangas, Moon Sailor. I know it's kind of childish sometimes, but it has cool lessons about friendship and being a hero, and you know what? You can just hit me with your car if you want, it's fine.
No. The manga's great, don't get me wrong. It's just the genre.
What was that?
Is this normal? Why are people running? Oh, is this one of those fire drills?
Where are you, Star Guardian? Guardian of the stars. Show yourself!
Oh, Kurtz, not this guy. Let me just...
Hey! Leave our school alone! This is really dangerous, you know!
Zira!
Who even are you?
Are you talking to me? Oh, I'm sorry, I could barely hear you. You're so small and insignificant. But if you must know my name, it's Eclipse, Servant of Darkness.
Zira, if you ignore him, he'll go away. Come on!
Oh, and who might you be?
Shove it, Moon Man! Oh. Let's get out of here!
A Moon Man? How dare you, worm! I said my name is Eclipse, Servant of Darkness! I will smite you!
Do it! You won't!
Don't test me! I will! I'm doing it right now!
I'm waiting!
Don't hurt my friend!
No choice now.
I'm quickly regretting my decision! Aha! There you are, Star Guardian, Guardian of the Stars. I knew you were here. Star Guardian? Gasp! Are you... A magical girl? Yes, she is. And not only that, she's my arch nemesis, and also... Double gasp! Magical love interest?
Ew! No!
Yes!
Gosh, threw up in my mouth a little. Man, you know what? Let me just get this over with.
Triple gasp! Are you about to do a magical girl transformation? Oh.
No time. Ochi, let's do it!
Yes! I knew you'd need me!
I forget what comes after triple gasp, gasp! Magical mascot!
I consider myself more of a magical friend, but whatever. It's time to wish upon a star, Aika!
Yeah, I wish. You know what I want.
Good enough!
Is that a lead pipe?
Yep.
I don't understand. What's a lead pipe gonna do? Oh! You don't have like a magical star beam or energy blast or something?
Yeah, I guess I do. Like, what even is a star beam, you know? Now a lead pipe to the shins? That's just reliable, baby.
This isn't over. I'll be back, Star Guardian, Guardian of the Stars, as soon as my bones heal!
He's never been able to use magic before.
Aika, you were amazing! That was just like Moon Sailor, except not at all! And you're a black magical girl? I know that's right.
Her methods are unique, but she's the best of the best. Can you believe she ran away from it all? And put me in a dark, dark box? Yeah, still mad about that, by the way.
Ran away? Why?
Well, truth be told, I don't want to be a magical girl.
Oh, man.
Yay, it's time for class!
Wow, that seems like an effective way to change clothes. Can you teach me how to do that?
Nope.
Yeah, no. Stupid. I shouldn't. Hey, is it cool that I know your secret identity?
Oh, yeah, about that. I have to kill you now.
What?
I'm kidding.
Jeez, you scared me.
See what I have to deal with?
Wait, that Eclipse guy knows where you are now. Think he'll be back?
Probably, but as you saw, he's not much of a threat.
I'm back, milady.
Well,
That went poorly, didn't it? You hardly used the powers I gave you.
I suppose I got caught up in the moment, but I found her. That's good, right? Please, I need this.
That's a fine start. All that matters is that we finish it.
All right, so I know, guys, it was a little bit long, but it was worth it. Pretty please, I don't want to be a magical girl. Again, this is what we're talking about, that original content, and it was funny. Adults, yes, but it was great. At the same time, I just can't get past that. The whole thing of the fact that it's now it now started as a Kickstarter, now getting over 2 million views on YouTube. It deserves a shot. That's all I'm saying. Really and truly, that's all I can say, except the fact that, God, it was fun to watch that again. Unlimited magical powers, and she wishes for a lead pipe. That screams volumes. It really does. Joe, anything you want to add to that?
Like the Tanya tap helps.
Yeah, it really does. Can't argue that. But the last review we got, guys, before we get to our comic book pulls, Invincible. I just want to show this scene 1 second because this was episode 7, where basically the nemesis, Mr. Angstrom Levy, did pull almost every mark from an alternate universe, owing to converge on the planet itself, causing mass destruction, loss of life, even to where the Guardians of the Globe were having their hands full, and Mark and Adam Eve, and even his brother Oliver were trying to quell everything. Long story short, it did actually lead to it's setting the seeds for the Invincible War. The fact that you saw what's his face at the end, where he comes to Mark and sit there and says, "Hey, we gave you ample time to get this world ready for the Viltrumite invasion. It's still not ready. What do you have to say for yourself?" And Mark, at this time, was ticked off because now his face is seen as much like his dad. Really not seen as a face of peace, but a face of tyranny and oppression, and just not everything he wants to be. So, of course, he tells old boy, "Look, I just want to hit something really hard." And old boy's like, "All right." Because, I think his name was Gladiator. I have to go back and see what his name was. But it definitely does lead up to the Invincible War, to where Mark will have to basically fight them in order to keep the world safe. As far as we know, Alan and his dad are still out there on that ship. Eventually, I guess, going to make their way back to Earth, or at least make their way back to the alliance that is against the Viltrumites. It's just weird that at the end of it all, I just want to say Cecil was right. Mark was a hypocrite, and Cecil was right. I'm going to leave it at that. But that's going to lead to episode 8, which we're going to see the big battle there as we kind of get close to the end of this season of Invincible. Still love it. Still not for kids. And yes, if you haven't already read the comics, highly recommend that you do. There's a lot in there that hasn't really covered in the show, except one scene which is going to be coming up that I'm not sure how they're going to handle it. Well, it's Amazon Prime, so we'll see. But yeah, outside of that, that's really it for Invincible. Joe, do you have anything for episode 7, or are you still sticking with the comics?
I just see things as they come by on Instagram.
Fair enough. All right. So, like I said, guys, not a lot in the way of the news this week. So we're going to go ahead and get into our comic pulls. Before we do that, guys, we do always want to show love to Rick's Comic City, Nashville's #1 place for comic books, whether for Nashville comic books, for memorabilia, for Funko Pops, you name it, they got it. Everything geeky and nerdy. 2 locations, Nashville, Tennessee, and Clarksville, Tennessee, and their website at rickscomiccity.com. Let them know the guys at the Get Bit Podcast sent you. Doesn't get you any discounts, but it does actually help us because you see our faces on their TVs. They show us love, so we show them love. So definitely check out rickscomiccity.com. Also, guys, support your local comic stores, support your local libraries. Why? Because they are the last places to where you can get the most updated comics and things of that nature. At the same time, guys, libraries do carry comic books, mangas, and video games. So again, a lot of areas for resources that can be found, guys, that really I recommend to go ahead and take advantage of, because you will miss these areas when they're gone. So if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, support Bricks Comic City. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, support your local comic book store, support your local independent bookstore, support your church. I said churches. Whoops. Support your local libraries. You will miss them when they're gone. And speaking of missing, Tafari, sir, the man, the myth, the legend. How goes it at BlurredCon, sir? He says, "Hey, fellas," because I know that is a working man. Because if you are in the DC area, definitely check out BlurredCon. It's going on right now. Again, a fun time to be had. I know Blurred Station is there. Tafari, our podcast brethren, along with Geek by Heart and Navy Montel and Roomful of Blurs. Those guys are all there. Please, if you're going to go, say hi, enjoy yourself. Don't be a dick while enjoying the con. That's all we're saying. But Joe, I see you got the comics up, sir. So whenever you're ready.
We only got one DC book. It was a little bit lackluster in DC, but we're looking at a new book, Secret Six. This is the new Secret Six. This is written by Nicole Maines, art by Steven Segovia, and colors by Rain Barreto. This is the new John Kent book. This is a book in response to the big event, Absolute Power. This is following up on John, his boyfriend, also from the CW series Dreamer. We also see Black Alice here, along with Deadshot and Catman, who just kind of are there. But this is mostly being used as a vehicle to further John Kent and his boyfriend. Also, no problem with that. So far, good introduction, good book. I do like that this does immediately follow up, and still John is dealing with a lot of trauma from being pretty much bored by the Brainiac Queen.
Yeah.
Plus, Black Alice is there, and that's always fun because she is ridiculously dangerous if you know what her powers are. Being able to steal magical abilities from other magical beings.
Yep.
So you can channel the Spectre.
That's a dangerous thing. I do agree. This was definitely a nice little introductory issue. You are right. This is continuing John and his boyfriend's story. Although I am kind of wanting to see Deadshot and Catman somehow being part of this, and Dreamer still having to kind of relive the nightmare as well as John. But yeah, I'm kind of invested in this one to see where it goes.
Yep. Decent book. Moving on over, we got Scarlet Witch number 10. This is written by Steve Orlando with Jacopo Kaminagi and Russell Dodderman doing art, and Elizabeth D'Amico for finishers, which is a new one to me, and Frank William as the colorist. This is the finale of this current run of Scarlet Witch. This will relaunch as Scarlet Witch Envision in the near future. This is the end of the Amaranth arc. Wanda is also dealing with Felicia, but it's Felicia, so you know she's going to get what she wants.
Pretty much.
It's as like she always wins. Unless Pete's there to like guilt trip her, she's always going to steal what she can steal.
And yet was still able to get in the vault itself. But
yes,
it is a nice wrap up to the current run. Still curious to see. I mean, I am curious to see where they could go from this, because the introduction of Black Cat has always kind of been a throwaway. But in this case, they did use it the right way, used Felicia, words are hard, the right way. So yeah, this was a good one too.
Yep. Doctor Strange of Asgard. Doctor Strange has a new book. This is written by Derek Landy, art by Carlos Magno, and colors by Espen Grundingen. Pretty much Steven is here because since he's no longer Sorcerer Supreme, he needs a way to regain the title Sorcerer Supreme. So he goes to Asgard and Thor because Asgard technically has a vacancy of the Sorcerer Supreme because they don't actually use it because they have other ways of doing that.
Right.
So they have it, and then a murder happens, And Steven's like, you didn't actually murder this person, so we got to figure things out. Plus, it's a new Doctor Strange book. Those are always fun and needed.
That is definitely going to be interesting too, because I was wondering that, like, okay, so even though you gave your powers, you gave Sorcerer Supreme title to Doom, you're going to secretly get Sorcerer Supreme in Asgard, which is basically just a melting pot of magic. Well played.
He even says, like, look, I only want the title because then I have power equal to Doom, and I can probably get my mantle back.
Pretty much. Although Thor was like, I mean, we kind of got that part covered, but hey, knock yourself out. The last person that tried to do this was Loki. You saw how that ended.
Yep. Good book. I think we always need a Strange book. Next up, we got X-Men number 11. This is the Uncanny title. This is part 1 of 7 of the new X-Event X-Manhunt. Long and short of it, Charles's daughter, who is the queen of the Shi'ar Empire, is currently under attack and pleads for her father's help. So Charles just pretty much decides, okay, I'm tired of being a prisoner. I need to go help my daughter. I'm going to go collect people.
Pretty much.
So this is the first issue that sets everything up. It's fine. I wish Rogue's X-Men had more to do, but this is really about Charles just doing kind of a day walk through New York, collecting his team.
Forcefully.
Yes.
That, you know, the ethical Charles has taken a break, where Magneto would be like, I mean, I'm not calling you a hypocrite, but it's the same thing I did with the Brotherhood, but hey.
I mean, he's doing it to save his daughter, so there are noble intentions, but about as far as it gets.
But you still want to see Magneto just turn around and say, I told you so.
Yeah. This is written by Gail Simone, art by Javier Goran, and colors by Matt Wilson. Decent book, good opening, it's fine.
Yeah.
Moving over into NYX, Charles continues his search for a team over in New York, trying to get with the young people. This is written by Jackson Lenz and Colin Kelly, art by Francisco Montorino and Raul Angelo. I mean, he makes a persuasive argument, at least to Prodigy, but still, he's in the wrong.
Oh, very much so. He was like, yeah, you may have gotten one person to go, you know what, he's got a point to an extent. But Charles is like, look, you can come willingly or I can make you. Which again, for the most powerful Omega level empath in the entire universe, that kind of says a lot.
Yep. And then rounding out, I think you guys cover this on Bird's Eye View.
Not episode 6, not issue 6.
Oh, okay. So issue 6 also leads into this. Charles goes to Dr. Storm. This is written by Mirwa Adiole, art by Lucinio Vinccio, and colors by Alex Gamirez and Rachel Rosenberg. Storm and Charles have a talk in the mind, and let us not forget, they are no longer friends. That went out in Krakoa. They are not best friends. But Storm is still willing to help Charles because she is now a cosmic entity, and this is going to be potentially a cosmic event. I have no idea who Maggot is.
That's a new one to me, too. I probably go back and do some research on that one.
So they have their talk. They go up against the X-Men. Storm just wrecks the X-Men to the point where, like, I don't even know why Eternity even needed to step in.
That was kind of different, wasn't it? It was like she kind of already had the team wiped, and yet, wasn't Eternity trying to hold her back a little bit? At least that's what I read. At least that's what I got from it.
Yeah, so she is technically the avatar of Eternity, still currently, except now instead of totally possessing her, Storm I wouldn't
Kinda
say
has to leave.
willingly, but like Storm takes a back seat sometimes to Eternity
Yeah.
in his wants and needs. So there's that.
It is weird.
She wrecks the X-Men team all on her own. Her little, I don't know what Charles. I know why Charles needs her, but like everything else, I guess Maggot is also going to get a Omega level upgrade.
Yeah.
Because she feels like it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's Storm. I'm just going to let her do what she wants to do. I'm not dumb enough to tell that woman, and she's a fictional character.
Fair point.
So yeah, overall, good book. Again, this is probably the most focus on there, and less focus on Charles, say for that talk, but Storm makes it very apparent to Charles, there's no more resurrections, and we are not friends.
Oh yeah, she definitely did her line in the sand, which is still crazy considering the Storm already has an exceptional story on her own line. But again, if you haven't read the Storms 1 through 5, highly recommend that you should. You are definitely missing out.
Question: when has she ever needed a weapon?
Never. Even when her powers were taken from her when using Forge device, she was still formidable, but she never used a weapon.
Now we do know she carries about 7 or 8 knives on her at all times.
Well, yeah.
But like the giant staff, I just like.
She never needed one. That's the crazy
part.
That's
what she got from when she was Queen of Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at least I remember where it comes from because I'm like, where did this giant staff spear come from? Yep. And why does she need it now of all times?
When she was queen and she was trained with the Dora Milaje. Technically Okoye, but yeah. But still.
Yep. Those are all the books.
All right. Thank you, sir, for that. With that being said, guys, like we said, really not a lot today. No, not a lot this week, except news. But news we try to keep out of the happy podcast because, well, we try to keep things happy. With that being said, before I turn it over to Joe, let people know what he's doing, guys. Again, BlurCon is going on right now. If you are in the area to go see it, highly recommend that you do. Say hi to the folks at Blur Station, Tafara TV, Room Full of Blurs, Geek by Heart, Navy Montel, Hellspawn Cosplay. Those guys are all there. Definitely say hi. Say hi. Talk to them. They're friendly. Just don't approach with food. It's always the best way to go about it. But with that being said, guys, we are definitely gonna wrap this up. Joe, you want to let people know what you're doing, sir?
Existing. I am currently streaming again, albeit very briefly, because I got to keep things a little bit quieter than what I used to, because I'm in an apartment, not a house. But I am streaming War Robot Frontiers, which is a free PvP Stompy Robot game that I found, which is kind of what I was looking for in MechWarrior Clans.
All right.
So I get that customizable MechWarrior style combat because they are slow, clunky robots, but you get to customize and build your own. You do have a weight and energy limit system that limits you from building like an absolute terror, but still pretty fun game overall. Definitely not an answer to Mecha Break, which is out on Xbox and Steam. But it gets me where I need to be if I want to play Stompy Robot games for the channel. Before I go back to playing like more MechWarrior again. Other than that, I'm just playing some Monster Hunter. I'll play it online eventually, but right now I'm just trying to get through the story mode. I'll probably start streaming high rank stuff because that's where the game really opens up. Other than that, just existing.
Understood, sir. Thank you for that. Now, before I do get to myself, also shout out to Tafari at Tafari TV. Although again, he's at BlurCon right now. Hardest working man this side of socials. Definitely check him out. Also, if you are there at BlurCon, say hi to him as he does got new videos up on all his socials. Check out Tafari TV. As for myself, guys, but again, shameless plugging before I get to myself. Shout out to Always Press Record or APR TV on the apps. Why? Because our shows, Give It Podcast, How the Frack We Got Here, are seen at APR TV or alwayspressrecord.com. It is the vehicle that we keep saying, guys, that we need to have our own tables where our content, our viewership, most importantly, our dollars go to. So definitely download APR TV on your smart device or watch online. And again, we'll be so very appreciative because we need to have that kind of support. Speaking of that support, Blur Station, which is currently at BlurCon right now. Again, another table to where our content, our viewership, most importantly, our dollars should be going to. Definitely check out blurstation.com. If you are at BlurCon, definitely go by the Blur Station area, say hi again. Enjoy what we have here, guys. A vehicle, a table that has all their own content, shows, movies, things of that nature. $10.99 a month to stream Blur Station, guys. If you want to join, hit the join now button. Select the Bird's Eye View Affinity membership. Select any member there. And again, it's $10.99 a month to view Blur Station. After 36 months, you do own a piece of Blur Station. And there's never been such an easier time to be a part of a media corporation such as that, because Tubi is well worth over $100 million, but Tubi is owned by the same guy who owns Fox. Again, that says a lot. So definitely, if you want to be a part of the change, come to blurstation.com and join us on the stream. As far as that, guys, you can definitely find us, the Get Bit Podcast, on all socials, including Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, also on Spotify, Apple Play, and Google Podcasts while it's still around, because podcasts can be found and seen wherever you get your podcast from. I myself, Black_615, can be found on the socials as well. Like, follow, share, subscribe. We simply cannot do any of this without you. At the same time, guys, I keep on bringing up BlurCon because, again, you have 2 more days of BlurCon. I know right now it's nighttime over there on the East Coast, but again, you get to enjoy 2 more days this Saturday and Sunday. If you are in the area, please go ahead and join it. Enjoy it. If you've never been to a con, take the time to enjoy this one. Really get used to it because, again, it is con season. The rules still apply. Respect the cosplayer at all times. Please, hygiene is freaking important, especially the fact there's still cold, cough, and flu, and now measles going everywhere. Please, guys, clean clothes, clean cosplays, hygiene, toothpaste, brush your hair. Put grease or product in it, not too much. A little bit of cologne never hurts. Again, guys, let's be preventative. If we are preventative, then we can cut down on con crud and all that stuff. And if you're like me, you got kids, you definitely don't want your kids getting sick because that means you get sick. So again, guys, hygiene is important. And the last rule that I have for myself, that I have for everybody else, guys, in a world right now that is so cold, be nice, be kind, talk and share your fandoms. Don't be a dick. And we'll all be cool. But with that being said, as we wrap this up, guys, we hope to be back here, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel next Friday, with the news of the week. But again, guys, as we always try to say at the end of this podcast, even though right now times are rough, be nice, be kind to yourselves, relax, do something fun, do something funny, help out other people, check on your strong folks, protect your peace the best way you know how. That's all we're telling you to do. But Joe, any last words we call tonight, sir? You're muted.
Yeah, just ready to watch more Daredevil, see where this goes.
Amen to that. Well, with that being said, guys, he's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Give It Podcast for this week, guys. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and I promise we'll get through this. Have a good night, guys. Peace.